Ugh. It's getting too hot. Morning. I should start baking. Good morning. Welcome. Okay. I'm baking bagels. That's a pot of water. I boil the bagels in this pot of water here. And I'm going to add some honey to the water. There's about 700 milliliters of honey right there. I'm going to put my first batch in now. Hello. Just starting my first batch in the water. I'll play you a song while I wait. I lost my breath. Having an audience makes me nervous. Sorry, I'm not awake yet. I should just stick to baking this morning. Hello, welcome to the stream. My name is Steve and I'm baking bagels. I have a stiff muscle right here. Just need to loosen it up a bit. I think it's a bit of tendonitis. Fortunately, I only work today and tomorrow, then I have Monday and Tuesday off, so hopefully I can get enough rest to let it heal. Morning, welcome to the stream. Thank you for your orange hearts, whoever's orange right now. I love the color orange. 'Tis the season of orange. Okay. Welcome to the stream. My name's Steve, and we are baking bagels today. Hamlin towns in Brunswick, my famous Hanover city. The river Weser, deep and wide, washes its wall on the southern side. A pleasanter spot you've never spied. But when begins my ditty, almost 500 years ago, to see the townsfolk suffer so from vermin was a pity. Rats, they fought the dogs and killed the cats and bit the babies in the cradles and ate the cheeses from the vats and licked the soup from the cook's own ladles, split open the kegs of salted sprats, made nests in the men's Sunday hats, and even spoiled the women's chats by drowning out their squeaking with shrieking and squeaking in 50 different sharps and flats. At last the people in a body to the town hall came flocking. "'Tis clear," cried they, "our mayor is a naughty, and as for our corporation, shocking. To think we buy gowns lined with vermin, for dolts who can't and won't determine what's best to rid us of our vermin. You hope because you're old and obese to find in the furry civic robes ease. Rouse up, sirs, give your brains a racking to find the remedy we are lacking, for sure as fate we'll send you packing." At this, the mayor and corporation quaked with the mighty consternation. An hour they sat in council. At length the mayor broke silence. "For a gilder eyed my earthen gown cell. I wish I were a mile hence. It's easy to bid one rack one's brain. I'm sure my poor head aches again. I scratch it so, but all in vain. Oh, for a trap, a trap, a trap." Just as he said this, one should have at the chamber door but a gentle tap. "Bless us," cried the mayor, "what's that?" With the corporation as he sat, looking little through wondrous fat. Nor brighter were his eyes, nor moister than a too long opened oyster, save when at noon his paunch grew mutinous for a plate of turtle green and glutinous. Only a scraping of shoes on a mat, anything like the sound of a rat makes my heart go pit-a-pat. "Come in," cried the mayor, looking bigger, and in did come the strangest figure. His long queer coat from heel to head was half yellow and half red, and he himself was tall and thin, with sharp blue eyes each like a pin, and light loose hair and swarthy skin, nor tuft of hair on cheek nor beard on chin, but lips or smile went out and in. There was no guessing his kith or kin, and nobody could enough admire this tall man in his quaint attire. Quoth one, "It's as my great-grandsire, starting up at the trump of doom's tone, had walked this way from his painted tombstone." He advanced towards the council table, and "Please, your honor," said he, "I am able, by means of secret charm, to draw all the creatures living beneath the sun, that crawl or swim or fly or run, after me so as you never saw. And I chiefly use my charm on creatures that do people harm, the mole and toad and newt and viper, and people call me the Pied Piper." And here they noticed round his neck a scarf of red and yellow stripe to match with his coat of self-same check. And at scarf's end hung a pipe, and his fingers they noticed were ever straining, as if impatient to be playing upon this pipe, as low it dangled over his vesture so old-fangled. "Yes," said he, "Pied Piper as I am, in Tartary I fed the cam, last June from its huge swarms of gnats. I eased in Asia the Nizam of a monstrous brood of vampire bats. And as for what your brain bewilders, if I rid your town of rats, will you give me 1,000 guilders?" 50,000 was the exclamation of an astonished mayor and corporation. Into the street the piper stepped, smiling first a little smile, as if he knew what magic slept in his quiet pipe the while. Like a musical adept, below his pipe his lips he wrinkled, and green and blue his sharp eyes twinkled, like a candle flame where salt is sprinkled. And ere 3 shrill notes the pipe uttered, you heard as if an army muttered, and a muttering grew to a grumbling, and a grumbling grew to a mighty rumbling, and out of the houses came the rats tumbling. Great rats, small rats, lean rats, brawny rats, brown rats, black rats, gray rats, tawny rats, brave old plotters, gay young friskers, fathers, mothers, uncles, cousins, cocking tails and pricking whiskers, families by tens and dozens, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, followed the pipe before their lives. From street to street he piped advancing, and step for step they followed dancing, until they came to the river Weser, wherein all plunged and perished. Save one who stout as Julius Caesar, swam across and lived to carry, as he the manuscript he cherished, to land home his commentary, which was, after the shrill notes of the pipe, I heard a sound as of scraping tripe, and putting apples wondrous ripe into the cider presses gripe, and a moving away of pickle tub boards, and leaving a jar of conserve cupboards, and a drawing the corks of train oil flasks, and a breaking hoops of butter casks, and it seemed as if a voice, sweeter far than by harp or by psalteries breathed, called out, "O rats, rejoice! The world has grown to a vast dry saltery, so munch on, crunch on, take your nunch on, breakfast, supper, dinner, lunch on, and just a bulky sugar punch on, already staved like a great sun shone, gracious scarce an inch before me, just as me thought it said come bore me, I found the Weser rolling over me. You should have heard the Hamlin people ring the bells as they rock the steeple. Go, cried the mayor, and get long poles, poke up the nest and block up the holes, consult with carpenters and builders, and leave in our town not even a trace of the rats, when suddenly up the face of the piper perked in the marketplace, the first if it please, by 1,000 guilders. 1,000 guilders. The mayor looked blue, so did the corporation too, for council dinners made rare havoc with Claret, Moselle, Vin de Gras, Pop, and half the money would replenish their cellar's biggest bud of Rhenish, to pay the sum to a wondering fellow, with gypsy coat red and yellow. Besides, quoth the mayor, with a knowing wink, our business was done at the river's brink. We saw with our eyes the vermin sink, and what's dead can't come to life, I think. So, friend, we're not folks to drink from our duty of giving you something to drink, and a matter of money to put in your poke. But as for the guilders, what we spoke of them, as you well know, wasn't joke. Besides, our losses have made us thrifty. 1,000 guilders, come, take 50. The piper's face fell and he cried, no trifling, I can't wait beside. I promise a visit by dinner time, Baghdad, and accept the prime of the head cook's potage, all he's rich in, for having left in the caliph's kitchen of a nest of scorpions, no survivor. With him I prove no bargain driver, with you don't think I'll bait a stiver, and folks who put me in a passion, may find me pipe after another fashion. How, cried the mayor, do you think I brook, being worse treated than a cook, insulted by a rival, with idle pipe and vesture claggle? Threaten us, fellow, do your worst, blow your pipe there till you burst. Once more he stepped into the street, and to his lips again laid his long pipe of smooth straight cane, and ere he blew 3 notes, such sweet soft notes as that musician's cutting never gave the enraptured air. There was a rustling that seemed like a blustering, and varied crowds justling and pitching and hustling. Small feet were pattering, wooden shoes clattering, little hands clapping, and little tongues chattering. Like foals in the farmyard when barley is scattering, out came the children running, all the little boys and girls, with rosy cheeks and flaxen curls, and sparkling eyes and teeth like pearls, tripping and skipping right merrily after. The wonderful music was shouting and laughter. The mayor was dumb and the council stood as if they're changed into blocks of wood, unable to move a step or cry, to the children merrily skipping by, could only follow with an eye that joyous crowd at the piper's back, and how the mayor was on the rack, and the wretched council's bosoms beat, as the piper turned from the high street, to where the Weser rolled its waters, right in the way of their sons and daughters. However, he turned from south to west, and to Copperberg Hill his steps addressed, and after him the children pressed. Great was the joy in every breast. He never crossed the mighty top, he's forced to let the piping drop, and we shall see our children stop. When lo, they reached the mountainside, a wondrous portal opened wide, as if a cavern was suddenly hollowed. The piper advanced and the children followed, and when all were in to the very last, the door in the mountainside shut fast. Did I say all? No, one was lame, and could not dance the whole of the way. And in after years, if you'd blame his sadness, he was used to say, it's dull in our town since my playmates left. I can't forget that I'm bereft of all the pleasant sights they see, which the piper also promised me. Before he led us, he said, to a joyous land, joining the town in just at hand, where waters gushed and fruit trees grew, and flowers before the fairer hue, and everything was strange and new. The sparrow was buried in a peacock here, and their dogs outran a fellow deer, and honeybees had lost their stings, and horses were born with eagle's wings. And just as I became assured, my lame foot be speedily cured, the music stopped, and I stood still, and found myself outside the hill, left behind against my will, to go now limping as before, and never hear of that country more. Alas, alas for Hamelin, there came into many a burgher's pate a text which says at heaven's gate, opes to the rich at as easy rate, as an eel's eye tastes a camel in. The mayor sent east, west, north, and south, to offer the piper by word of mouth, wherever was men's lot to find him, silver and gold to his heart's content, if only he'd return the way he went, and bring the children behind him. But when they saw 'twas lost endeavor, the piper and dancer were gone forever, they made a decree that lawyers never should think their records dated duly, if after the day of the month and year, these words do not as well appear. And so long after what happened here, on the 22nd of July, 1376, the better in memory to fix the place of the children's last retreat, they called it the Pied Piper Street, where anyone playing pipe or tabor was sure for his future lose his labor, nor suffered they hostelry or tavern, shocked with mirth a street so solemn, and opposite the place of the cavern, they wrote the story on a column, and not great church window painted, the same to make the world acquainted, how their children were stolen away, and there it stands this very day. And I must not admit to say that in Transylvania there is a tribe of alien people who ascribe the way and dress of which their neighbors lay such stress to their fathers and mothers having risen out of some subterranean prison into which they were trepanned a long time ago in a mighty band out of Hamlin towns in Brunswick land, but how or why they don't understand. So, Lily, let me and you be wipers of scores out with all men, especially pipers. And if they should pipe us free from rats or from mice, if we promise them aught, let us keep our promise. Missing a bagel. That was the Pied Piper of Hamelin. Oh yeah, I dropped one. Oh, I didn't. Where are you? Excuse me. Hello, welcome. My first thought was he lied in every word. That hoary cripple with malicious eye, askance to watch the working of his lie on mine, and mouth scarce able to afford suppression of that glee that pursed and scored its edge at one more victim gained thereby. What else should he be set for with his staff? What saved waylay with his lies is there, all travelers who might find him posted there. And that's the road. I guess what skull like laugh would break, what crutch can write my epitaph for pastime in the dusty thoroughfare. If at his counsel I should turn aside and do ominous track which all agree hides the dark tower, yet acquiescingly I did turn as he pointed, neither pride nor hope rekindling at the end descried, so much as gladness some end might be. For what with my whole world wide wondering, what with my search drawn out through years, my hope dwindled into a ghost not fit to cope with that obstreperous joy success would bring. I hardly tried now to rebuke the spring my heart made finding failure in its scope. As a sick man very near to death seems dead indeed, and feels begin and end the tears, and takes the farewell of each friend, and hears one bid the other go, draw a breath freely outside, since all is over, he saith, and the blow fallen no grieving can amend. While some discuss if near other graves be room enough for this, and when a day suits best for carrying the corpse away, with care about banners, scarfs, and staves, and still the man hears all and only craves, he may not shame such tender love and stay. Thus I had for so long suffered in this quest, heard failure prophesied so oft been writ, so many times among the band to wit, the knights who to dark towers search to dress their steps, the just to fail as they seem best, and all doubt was now should I be fit. So quiet as despair I turned from him, that hateful cripple out of his highway, into the path he pointed. All the day had been a dreary one at best, and dim was settling into his clothes, yet shot one grim red near to see the plain catch it astray. For mark, no sooner was I fairly found, pledged to the plain after a pace or two, than pausing throw backward a last view, over the safe road 'twas gone, grey plain all round, nothing but plain to the horizon's bound. I must go on, naught else remained to do. So on I went. I think I never saw such starved ignoble nature. Nothing throve, for flowers as well expect a cedar grove. But chortle and spurge, according to their law, might propagate their kind with none to awe. You'd think a burr had been a treasure trove. No penry inertness in grimace, in some strange sort were the land's portion. See or close your eyes, said nature peevishly, and nothing skills, I can't help my case. 'Tis last judgment's fire must cure this place, calcine its clods and set my prisoners free. If there pushed any ragged thistle stalk above its mates, its head was chalked. The bents were jealous else. What made the holes and rents in the dock's harsh swarce leaves? Bruised as to balk all hope of greenness. 'Tis a brute must walk, passioning their life out with a brute's intents. As for the grass, it grew as scarce as hair and leprosy. Thin, dry blades pricked the mud, which underneath was kneaded up with blood. One stiff, blind horse, as every bone is there, stood stupefied however he came there, thrust out past service from the devil's stud. Alive, he might be dead for aught I know, with red, gaunt, and callop neck astrain, and shut eyes beneath the rusty mane. Seldom went such grotesqueness with such woe. I never saw a brute I hated so. He must have been wicked to deserve such pain. I shut my eyes and turned them on my heart, as a man calls for wine before he fights. I asked one draught for earlier happier sight. Ere feeling I could hope to play the part. Think first, fight afterwards, a soldier's art. One taste of old times sets all to rights. Not it. I fancied Cuthbert's reddening face beneath its garniture of curly gold. Dear fellow, till I almost felt him fold. An arm and mind fixed me to that place, the way he used. Alas, one night's disgrace, oh, at my heart's new fire, and left it cold. Giles then, the soul of honor, there he stands, frank as 10 years ago and knight at first. An honest man should dare, he said he durst. Good with the scene shifts, fob with hangman's hand pinned to his breast of parchment. His own band reads it, poor traitor spit upon and cursed. Better this present than a past like that. Back therefore to my darkening path. No sound, no sight as far as the eye can strain. Will the nights into hell that are bad, I asked, when something on the dismal flat came to arrest my thoughts and change their train. A sudden little river crossed my path, as unexpected as a serpent came. No tides congenial to the glooms. This as a froth by might have been a bath for the fiend's glowing hoof, to see the wrath of its black eddies be spat with plates and spoons. So petty yet so spiteful, all along low scrubby alders kneeled over it. Drenched willows flung them headlong in a fit of routless bear, a suicidal throng. The river which had done them all the wrong, whatever that was, rolled by, deterred no whit. Which while I forded, good saints, how I feared to set my foot upon a dead man's cheek. Each step or feel a spear I thrust to seek, for hollows tangled in his hair or beard. It may have been a water rat I speared, but ugh, it sounded like a baby shriek. Glad was I to reach the other bank, now for a better country. Vain presage, who were the strugglers? What war did they wage? Whose savage traffic could thus pad the dank soil to a plash? Toads in a poison tank, or wild cats in a red-hot cage. The fight must so have seemed in that foul cirque. What penned them there with all the plain to choose? No footsteps leading through that horrid muse. Now out of it, mad Druids set to work their brains no doubt, like galley slaves Turk, pits for his pastime Christians against Jews. And more than that, a furlong on, why there, what bad use was that engine for, that wheel, or brake not wheel, that harrow fit to reel men's bodies out like silk, with all the air of Tophet's tool, on earth left unaware or brought to sharpen its rusty teeth of steel. Then came some stub ground, once a wood, next to marsh it would seem, now mere earth, desperate and done with, so the fool finds mirth, makes a thing and mars it, till his mood changes and off he goes, within a rude bog, clay and marsh, sand and stark black girth. Now blotches rankling colored gray and dim, now patches where some leanness of the soils broke into moss or substances like boils. Then came a palsied oak, a cleft in him, a distorted mouth that splits its rim, gaping at death and dies while it recoils. As far as ever from the end, not in a distance, but the evening not, to point my footsteps further at the thought, great black bird, Apollyon's bosom's friend, sailed past nor beat his wide wings, dragon-penned, that brushed my cap, perchance the guide I sought. For looking up and where I somehow grew, the plain given place all round the mountains with such names, the grace mere heights and stolen view. How less they surprised me, solved you. How to get from there was no clearer case. Yet half I seemed to recognize some tricky mischief had happened to me. God knows when. In a bad dream perhaps. Here ended then progress this way. When in the very nick of giving up one more time, came the click as when the trap shuts, you're in the den. Burningly it came upon me all at once. This was the place. Those two hills to the right crouched like two bulls locked horn in fight, while to the left a tall scout mountain, dunce daughter to dozing at the very nunce after a lifetime of training for the sight. Not see, because of night perhaps, why day came back for that. Behind it left the dying sunset, kindled through a cleft. The hills like two giants in the hunting lay, chin upon hand to see the game at bay, now stab and end the creature to the heft. Not here, when noise was everywhere it told, increasing like a bell, names in my ears, of lost adventurers my peers, how such was strong and such was bold, and such was fortunate yet each of old, lost one moment now below of years. There they stood, ranged along the hillside met, view the last of me, a living frame, for one more picture in a sheet of flame. I saw them and knew them all, and yet, dauntless the slughorn to my lips I sat and blew, child Roland to a dark tower came. Good morning all, thanks for watching. You've been a very pleasant audience this morning, thank you. A very pleasant and very patient audience. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Oh my god. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary, how's it go? When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them to another and assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal stations to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them, a decent respect of the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Hey kiddo, why aren't you in bed? I'm watching television. I can see that. I hate you, leave me alone. She's pissed off at me because I wouldn't let her go out on a date with her friend Billy. I missed the biggest party of the year. Why couldn't she go? Because she's 13, that's why. I bought you some ice cream. I'm not talking to you. Gee, that's a shame. You always had such pleasant things to say. I hate you, Dad. I'm gonna miss that, darn it. It's chocolate chip, your favorite. I hate you. You're an asshole. That's for saying asshole. Beep. Should have beeped that out. That's for saying asshole. You know I hate wasting food. You know what had shocked me? You know I hardly ever hear the word asshole at work. Bullshit, I bet you get it all the time. Alright, knock it off. What do you do? Ground me some more? Hey, you want it, you got it, lady. Yes, sir, asshole. Grounded for a week. That's 2. Grounded for a week. Thank you, asshole. That's 2. You want to play this game? call this the Hello, welcome. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Mi nombre es Steven. Al Panadero. Panadero, al Panadero. Oh, yeah. Back to work went fast. No, I'm making bagels. It's too early for pizza. I don't know, maybe in some parts of the world they eat pizza for breakfast. Not here in Canada in particular. I'd eat, well, that's not true. I guess we eat cold pizza all the time. Yeah. Oh, nice. I'd love to build my own oven. That'd be an incredible process. Oak wood, nice. Yeah. I want to build a solar oven, solar powered oven. I don't know how you do that, but sure it can be done. So. I mean, I want to design a solar oven that could be used on a commercial scale, I guess is what I don't want just one tiny little oven. I want one that can produce commercial, for a commercial environment. Ooh. Tesla, Elon Musk, he should design a solar oven based on this design, but who knows? I don't think so. I don't think we have anything that's halal. Oh, actually, I think our smoked meat might be halal. I don't know. Isn't halal just like inflicting extra suffering on the animal just for some religious reason? I'm not a religious person, so I don't understand that kind of stuff. I don't really try to understand it either, so. I think a lot of those religious rules are just ways of differentiating and excluding. Like it's a way of differentiating a group from another group, and it's a way to exclude yourself from participation in another group's culture. I think the world needs a major dose of secularization. That's what I believe. It is 366 right now, but it's probably the back of the oven's probably closer to 400 degrees. The front's probably close to that temperature, like 350, 360 range. Takes skills to build it. Yeah. The oven builders come in here and build it for us. So the company we use is Woodstone. They have manufacturing facilities down in Bellingham, Washington, I believe. I'd love to go and visit there. Yeah, they did. Yeah, these ovens are beautiful. Very nice. There's a few cracks in the cement on the back, but I think that might be just normal because we have 5 ovens in this company built by the same company, and the decks have cracks in them, but they're not big cracks. They're like small cracks, so they're not a big deal. Oh yeah, yeah. That's what I assumed. And I mean it's exposed to constant heat and harsh temperatures and fluctuating temperatures. So yeah, I think it's unavoidable. I'm in Vancouver. I grew up in Alberta. I've lived in Vancouver for the last 5 years though. So. Coming up on 5. Or maybe it's more than 5 now. Things are good, yeah. Yeah, I love my life. Things are great. Vancouver's a great city to be in. Oh yeah. guest town. No, this is commercial drive. We have 5 locations. There's 2 on the North Shore, 1 on Lonsdale and 17th. The other one's in Park and Tilford Plaza. Then we have one on Main Street and West Broadway. Then is this location is commercial and Kitchener. And then we have a location in Richmond in the Ironwood Plaza. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Thanks for what? Yeah, thank you. Thanks for all the hearts today, all the comments. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's the end of the stream. Thank you for watching.